Hello, this video shows you how to access international arbitration material on Thomson Reuters Practical Law. Let's go live and show you now. This is Practical Law. You can access it from the drop-down wedge. If you're browsing in Westlaw right now, that drop-down wedge should say Practical Law. Go ahead and click on it. You'll go there. You can also access it from the lawschool.westlaw.com landing page. You'll see Practical Law as an option up over here. I urge everyone to use their own password to access Practical Law, not only because it's, according to my reading of the user agreement, what's required, but also because when you add things to folders and work with them in your history, you will be able to pull them up later inside Practical Law after your class is over, and I think that is fantastic. Practical Law, primarily a browsing tool. You can see the different practice areas over here, written by editors who are alums of the world's leading law firms and in-house departments, and maintained by Practical Law attorney editors. So within the practice areas, for instance, something like, I don't know, international arbitration might be a helpful starting point. You can see, as I said, a browse tool like Practical Law is browsable by topics, browsable by resource types, browsable even by countries, so jurisdictions in that case. If you look at something like a toolkit, this is a fantastic place to start because, like any kind of landing page, like any good landing page, a toolkit is going to have a bunch of different areas that kind of branch out from it. So we're looking at this here, Hong Kong Arbitration Toolkit. Okay, you're going to see that this is connected to things like practice notes, standard clauses and documents, checklists, and of course, useful links. Any of these super interesting resources on Practical Law, because you're pulling it up on your password, can then, of course, be annotated, marked up, added to folder, emailed, printed, and downloaded, which I think is fantastic. So this information, again, accessible from that Practical Law landing page. Click on a practice area and then go. Now, keep in mind that that search bar is still up there, so there are obviously other ways of getting at these resources. Let me show you another way of doing it. If we just browse by topic, click on jurisdictional issues, you'll be kind of at what looks like a search screen, right? 258 things on Practical Law pertaining to jurisdictional issues. Just like with Westlaw, filtering, pretty fantastic. And then when you see more resource types over here, you'll see that we've got one checklist as well as all of these other resources out here. Filter even by jurisdiction so that you'll be able to say, okay, international arbitration in Brazil, there's probably a specific practice note on it. Okay, cool. Along with legal updates, archives, case reports, and the like. So you'll notice this one here says maintained. It's green. What does that mean? That means that the Practical Law attorney editors are the ones who are maintaining, revising, and updating it to make sure that you have the current best practice out there in the marketplace. As we go ahead and look through here, you'll notice that this differs from a traditional treatise because it isn't written in an academic style. It isn't heavily footnoted. It, however, contains links to primary law that support the propositions, but it is very logically laid out in a very plain and understandable format. You'll notice here, competens. I have no idea what that means, and I had no idea that you could even spell something like that. So you click on it, and there's something else within Practical Law. It's called the glossary. So a dictionary quality definition here and links to related content on Practical Law. So this is part of a larger question of jurisdictional issues in international arbitration. It's maintained, and then that connects you to other resources in Practical Law, which through the table of contents help bring you to specific areas that might be relevant in your case or in your matter. And again, scrolling through this, reading through this, getting to the end, and seeing what else is out there. Add it to folders, work with it later, enjoy that knowledge as you go forward. But again, this process on Practical Law, amazingly easy and straightforward from that practice area, or even just from a search of the main bar, filtering down and finding stuff. Finally, one last cool, interesting thing. If you click on global content, you'll actually go over into the UK version of Practical Law, where some content is stored. I urge you to do some exploration over there. I won't show you all of those amazing things, just kind of hint at them. And then the final thing, what's market, which brings you current market practice, things filed with the SEC and summarized by the Practical Law attorney editors. So that way, if you're engaging in an asset purchase agreement, or if you're engaging in a negotiation of a multi-million or billion-dollar thing, well, guess what? We've got the salient factors picked out by the Practical Law attorney editors, and we can link you to those portions of the publicly filed agreement. So, international arbitration, deal negotiation, multi-state comparisons, you name it. If you've got questions, contact your account manager. That person's information will be over here under Connect with Your Account Manager. Or follow at Lindy Hop Lawyer on Twitter. You'll be able to see the best and most recent updates, YouTube walkthroughs, and the like. And otherwise, thanks for listening. We'll talk with you again soon. Cut.